Hello there, this is Morgan from MorganOnScience.com and MetaMorgan on Twitter if you want to tweet me. And I also have a Facebook fan page. And today I want to talk about fear and how dangerous fear is for your productivity. And so, the question is, do you fear the things around you? Do you fear your competitors? Do you fear your experiments failing? Do you fear lack of funding? Do you fear, what your bureaucracy at your university or institution is doing to you? All of those things can be paralyzing. Fear is really a paralyzing emotion. So let me tell you, a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I learned about a thing called peak oil. So peak oil, the idea behind it is that geologically we will reach a plateau in oil production, and then from that point, where we've basically extracted about half of the world's oil, it will all be downhill from there, and there will be less and less oil extracted. It's not that we're going to run out of oil, it's just that we'll be extracting less, and so that will cause oil prices to skyrocket. And there's a lot of speculation about what this will cause. Some people who talk about peak oil get all gloom and doom about it and say this is the end of the world as we know it and blah blah blah. And I fell prey to the fear, to that doomer sort of aspect of this peak oil thing for several years, and it really paralyzed me. I mean, basically I was just walking around in a funk for that good year and a half or 2 years, just saying, well, what's the point? What's the point of really pushing my research forward? What's the point of really doing anything, if we're all, set for this gloom and doom that's coming? And, ultimately I realized that's just one scenario. It's something I made up in my mind. And what we make up in our minds is powerful. We actually find ways to make whatever's in our mind reality. So often that thing that we picture is that thing that ultimately we come to. Some people call that the law of attraction, and there's a little bit of voodoo there, and I don't necessarily believe all that voodoo, but I do believe that, what we set our minds on and the mental pictures we hold are things that drive us forward and keep our subconscious thinking about ways to bring that into reality and noticing things associated with that. So if I've got this big fear in my head about something like peak oil, then I'm going to notice everything that is associated with gloom and doom and peak oil, and that just further weights me down and further increases the fear. So what I've found is by taking a completely different attitude, which is, hey, instead of being fearful about peak oil, trying to be positive and going out and seeing what difference I can make in the world, starting a bike shop and trying to help people in their science careers so that it's not such a struggle. Those are things that are positive efforts. Will they make a difference? Well, I guess this probably makes a little bit of difference, if nothing else, and at least it's doing something positive. It's not fear-based. It's thinking about ways that I can build something positive and help people. And I am so much happier and I feel so much more productive because of it, because I got out of that fear mode. And this is definitely true for everybody who's successful that I've seen, is people who are really successful get out of that fear mode. They get in a zone where they're just relaxed and moving forward in a relaxed and enjoyable manner, and they're in the moment enjoying their work, enjoying whatever they're doing, their grant writing, their experiment, their paper, whatever it is. It's like Zen enjoyment, being in the moment and not thinking about competitors or this or that or the other thing. So I hope you'll take this to heart and really consider, are you letting fear drive what you're doing, or are you letting something positive drive what you're doing? And if it is fear, do whatever you can to move away from that and focus on the positive things that you want rather than the negative things that you don't want. And you'll find that your life becomes a lot easier, at least I did. So that's all for today. This is Morgan, and I'm going to sign off. Again, you can find me at morganonscience.com and leave a message for me there, or tweet at MetaMorgan on Twitter. And I'll see you tomorrow.